Z, on today's show, we're going to talk about some profound crap.
Awesome.
We're going to talk about two
About
moves
time.
that everyone needs to use
Ooh.
to dramatically become a more proactive, more efficient, and more profitable person. Two super moves you can use, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, boom! You are now entering the dojo of Mojo and the Thrive Time Show.
Thrive Time Show on the microphone. What is this? Top of the iTunes charts in the category of business. Drilling down on business topics like we are a dentist. Providing you with mentorship like you are an apprentice. And we go so fast that you might get motion sickness. Grab a pen and pad to the lab. Let's get in this. It's time to bear some fruit like some Florida oranges. 3, 2, 1. Here come the business ninjas.
Sonic boom!
Yes, 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 and yes. Dr. Z, it is ecstasy when you're next to me. And on today's show, I'm fired up as I can be because we're going to talk about two action items that everyone can take right now to dramatically make more money.
This is everybody.
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 This is
Wow.
some profound crap.
Wow.
Some profound crap. And what happens is sometimes simple truths get distorted, complicated, perverted, whatever, over time, manipulated to a point where it becomes complicated to do the very simple task. So, Z, I'm gonna share about these two profound, super, almost, they're secrets that you feel like you would only learn inside like a Masonic lodge. It's that kind of secret here. Let me just share here.
Oh, my.
Step 1. You want to have a to-do list.
What?
Step 2. You want to use a calendar. There it is. Now, this is powerful stuff because I've read Habits of the Rich by Tom Corley.
Yes.
Many of the listeners know we have read countless books on time management, books from Lee Cockerell, Time Management
He's
Magic.
A stud, Lee.
But what happens is people don't, not our listeners.
Not ours.
This show is for the friends of our listeners.
Right. Who might be in the car driving with them going, what are they talking about?
These are the two super moves that everybody needs to use, and it will dramatically change your life. So
Yes,
let's talk
it
about
will.
this first one, the to-do list. See, when you were first starting Dr. Zellner and Associates, it was you and an associate.
That's correct.
Now let's talk about all of the crap. If you can go back in time, for a second, picture it in your mind.
If I could
Turn back time. Dude. Okay. Share. Thank you. So if you could turn back time for a second, think about it.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of stuff would be on your to-do list back in the day when you were seeing the patients and there was only one associate?
There was a lot of ordering that needed to be done, so I had to kind of get that on my to-do list. Order different things. I mean, from contact lenses to frames to paper goods. That was a constant line item on my to-do list. I also had to on my to-do list. I had to do all my marketing and research. I had a plan for that because I was my own. I couldn't afford a marketing company, so I was my marketing company. And then there was a lot of simple things too. You had to get some new clothes. It was on my to-do list. Every now and then I'd have to swing by, and when you're taking ups and you're working, and when someone comes to the door, you got to be ready to see them. You've got to be very proactive in your free time because when you're at work, I mean, I'm at work. I'm a slave. I'm a slave to the people.
A slave to the groove.
I'm a slave to the people.
Right.
So it was fun. And the best thing about having a to-do list is checking things off. God, I love that.
So let's do this
I
for a
love
second.
that.
So let's do this for a second. Let's do a pop quiz.
Okay.
Let's ask me. Let's do this. Do pop quiz, Z, and see if I can name 3 things on my to-do list here. Here we go.
Okay,
I'm
here we
passing
go.
to you right now.
Okay,
Here we go. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna. If I get it right, I get to make a point. If I get it wrong, I don't get to make a point. Okay.
And I will be, am I turned on? Let's see. Okay, we are.
we go.
We're ready to go.
I need to call a guy by the name of Mike.
I see a Misty. Call Wes. Call Kaza. Jonathan. Call Book. Mickey Willis. Mike Smith. There is a Mike Smith. Yes. Thank
gosh,
the Lord.
1 point.
Thank the Lord.
That's all I know, though. That's all I got. I mean, I'm seriously, I don't know anything else on the thing.
You know the top one?
No.
Are these in order of importance?
No.
That's what I always did in order of importance.
I put numbers on throughout the day of importance. That's kind of how I do it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So just I printed it off the printer before I headed over here because I got so much done today. I was like on fire.
Oh, yeah.
But we had these great guests that want to be on the show. And see, I know it's small font, But look where it says call and book. You see the names of those people? We've got some great people that want to be on the show right now.
You know what's funny is because the one that you knew, call Mike,
Yeah.
is the only one you have checked off. So
Well-
that's one you've done.
It's because I reached out to Mike. And the only reason I know is because Mike just called back a minute ago when I was in the studio, and that's all I remember.
Yeah.
But there's so much going on.
Yeah, you got to have a to-do list.
You
because
gotta have
otherwise, when you have those free moments, you're like, well, I guess it's time to get on my phone and play with my snap book. Or
and so what happens is people don't have a to-do list, and then you have on a just a shallow level, you run around just not knowing what you're doing. On a deeper level, I think ideas are gifts from God, and I think you waste them.
You're absolutely correct, and I think a lot of people, when you look at beginning business owners, one of the things I hear constantly from them is, I just don't have time. I just don't have the time.
Don't have the time.
I'm like, have you called and gotten your insurance moved, or have you called and done X, Y, Z? And they're like, I just didn't have time. I didn't get it done today because I didn't have time.
And there's so many things that we need to do. I mean, think about this. Sean Foyt, your friend,
Yes.
praise and worship leader guy,
Letusworship.us.
unbelievable heart right now. He's going out in these cities where there's mandated lockdowns. He's doing praise and worship rallies and events.
Hey, are we going to go to the D.C. one October 25th?
I really want to go to it. I'm working hard on the home team here. I'm in this phase of my life right now where cheerleading is everywhere.
Oh.
You know what I
Oh.
mean?
Are you participating in it, or are you just a fan?
Well, let me just tell you. It's
you
like
doing like
it's,
a dad
let me
cheer
explain it.
deal?
It's like my I'm trying to think of the word testicles are in a jar
Yes.
called cheerleading.
Yes.
And it's like
Yes.
if I leave, the jar doesn't come with me, and then I come back sounding like a eunuch.
You're jarless.
I mean, it's just, it's a thing where, like, I've got these wonderful 5 kids, and they're in cheerleading, and it's like
Well, Aubrey's not. And there are all
Right.
4 girls in it?
3. We got 3 kids that are doing the whole
3?
cheer
Oh, wow.
dance thing. So, but I want to make sure listeners get this idea. Crap. We talk about profound crap. Crap around here means core, repeatable, actionable, principles. Crap. Core. These are core things.
These are core things.
They're repeatable things.
Yes.
They're actionable things.
Yes.
They're principles. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm reading off all the stuff I'm supposed to do today. And James, I'm going to read it off to you. Don't write these down.
Okay.
But just try to see if you can remember any of these. And Josh, you try the same. Andrew, you try as well. Okay. I'm reading them off. See if you can remember even 5. See if you can remember 3 of these things. Okay. You need
Is
to
this
call.
for a tomahawk?
I tell you what. Here's how it's going to go. If you can name 5 things on this list without writing them down, then I will take you somewhere to eat.
And pay, he didn't say pay for it.
Are you hitting buttons?
I didn't hit a button.
Who's hitting that button? Is that me? Am I hitting buttons? Oh, I'm hitting buttons. I'm hitting buttons over here. I
You got excited.
Wow, okay.
You got excited. You started hitting.
Unbelievable.
You hit buttons.
Okay, hitting buttons. Okay. So here we go. Item number 1, Misty. Got to call Misty.
Got it.
2, got to call Wes McPherson. 3, got to call Kazra. 4, got to call Jonathan about the GOP live event. 4, got to book Congressman Mark Green on the podcast. 5, got to call Mike Smith, the producer of the Out of the Shadows show. I got to call Mark Perryman Koch. Got to book Dale Bigtree. Got to book Mickey Willis. Got to get in touch with Julia about a homeschool plan for one of our Thrive listeners. Got to talk to Joanna about recording Inside the Box That Rocks on the 8th. Got to talk to Michelle Swinnick. Got to call Brian Gibson to get that Sean Foyt footage from his performance there, Sean Foyt. I got to call Kazra. And I got to read Ephesians. I got to test my new headphones. And I got to call Mike tonight at 5:30. That's what I have to do.
I'm ready.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Josh, what do you got?
All right, so we got to call Misty.
Okay.
We got to call Mike Smith.
Mm-hmm.
We got to call Kazra. We got to call Jonathan about the GOP. We got to call Wes about booking him. We've got that's 5. That's 5. That's it.
That's
I quit.
5. It's
That's
5.
it.
And very impressive. That's
He's going to take you
impressive.
someplace.
I, ladies and gentlemen, have won a trip someplace with the worst driver in the entire history of
dude,
humanity.
You offer to drive. Otherwise,
Oh.
you may not get there. I'm just telling you.
Okay. So, but I mean, this is the kind of things that we do, though. In formal education, we're taught that somehow being able to memorize all these things is going to be the key to success. And I see really smart people being dumb because they forget core tasks.
Right.
Do you not see this?
All the time.
And it's like I see a lot of doctors who I've worked with over the years who are smart people academically, but they just never write anything down.
Right.
You'll be in a meeting with them, and you're like, there's no way you're going to do that. There's
Right.
no way what you said. They'll go, oh, I'll get that done.
I get
You're
that.
you're not going to get that done
You're not going to get that
because
done.
you're not going to write it down.
Yeah, how many people have told you right now, if you're listening right now, how many people have said to you, oh, I'm going to get that done?
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
I'm
I'll
on
knock
it.
that
I'm
out,
on
baby.
it.
I got
I'm
that.
on it.
On it.
And then like a week later, you call them and you go, hey, what about that thing? And they're like, oh, yeah, I forgot.
Good catch.
I forgot.
Almost.
My bad. I'm on it now.
So you got it one, and this is big. For somebody, they say this show's stupid. This show is not a deep show. I want deeper secrets. But this is a secret of the universe. You've got to write stuff down.
Absolutely.
Josh, you run Living Water Irrigation. I mean, it's getting complicated now. How many crews do you have? How many jobs are going? I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so all joking aside, back to that memorizing 5 things. I can't remember something from now until 7 minutes from now. It's very, very important. We have 3 crews and 4 service techs, 4 ladies in the office. We have another company. We're getting fired up. And so if I didn't have a list of things that was happening, if I didn't have a schedule that blocked out my day by half-hour increments, I'd be completely lost. I wouldn't be here. I'd be like, hey, there's something I'm supposed to do on Tuesdays afternoon.
Supposed to do.
Something.
You know, that's
There's this thing about the
feel
thing.
like I should be somewhere.
You know, tonight we're going to watch the new documentary that's unbelievable. It's called Hillary's America.
Oh wow.
I watched the
where's it?
trailer. Dude, it's great.
Where did you find? Where are you finding it?
Here, let me show it to you real quick.
Is it
This
on Netflix? What's it on? Is it
The guy, and I'm so bad with, I'm trying to book him on the show. I should probably nail the pronunciation of his name before I have him on the show.
That would help.
But this guy, he, look at this preview here. Let me cue it up here. It's called Hillary's America, and it's by Dinesh D'Souza.
Oh yeah.
Look at this. Just well done. I mean, this thing is a hot. Andrew, cut to the, here we go. Yeah. Look at this. And you watch it. It's, let me get to it here. What are we doing? Somehow this is like a weird is this? A weird preview version? I don't want a weird preview version. I want to see let me see the thing. Let me show come on. Here we go.
The Democrats are the party of economic opportunity, social justice, and racial equality. That's their pitch. But is it true? Who are these Democrats?
While Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, the Clintons took hundreds of millions of dollars from foreign entities.
She looked very menacing. I was really frightened.
I didn't see any reason to keep them.
The fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
Imagine how much worse things could get if these 2 depraved crooks returned to the White House.
It's just really well done. And Dinesh D'Souza, he actually went to prison. He made the movie about President Obama that exposed just all of the corruption during his term. And
I remember
he ended
that
up
movie.
going
I
to
watched
prison.
it. Yeah, I remember watching that.
And he has a movie called Trump Card coming out on December 8th or whatever. I mean, I watched probably the first 20 minutes of this just to kind of get a flow to see if my kids would love it. It's hot. It's good.
Is it like a series or just that one time?
One
2
movie.
hour?
But I mean,
Okay.
it's like major production. I believe Lionsgate put it out.
Love it.
But it's awesome. And so, but again, I had the idea today. See, I'm like, I need to show this to my kids, you know?
Yeah.
So what you do, now this is the technology that's getting in the way of getting stuff done, Z. People have big dreams.
Big dreams.
But this gets in the way of the big dreams. You got to find a pen. And so you look around, and you're like, oh, geez, I got all these microphones in this room. I got a
Sharpie.
Yeah, Sharpie. Let's get the Sharpie.
Sharpie.
And if you pass the Sharpie, then what you do is you write down, you say, watch. You want to write where you can read what you wrote.
That's important.
So I write all caps. My dad taught me that. You go, right, watch Hillary's. You want to kind of America. And now let me teach you. Let me teach you step 2 of the system. Now we got to ask ourselves, when are we going to do it?
Oh,
Now,
so you can't just say you're going to do something?
Now you see today, we're going to do some great interviews here today with some great guests.
Right.
We've got Ashley Williams coming up here, I believe, here in just a few minutes. We've got Khosra, the credit card king, coming up here at 4.
I like Cos.
We got Jeff Rubin coming up here at
He makes a
4:30.
fine sandwich.
And then you got anyways. We got
World famous.
Then I got our final interviews with John Cook of Quality Surfaces at 6, and so really I couldn't do this until 6:30. But the kids are coming back from cheerleading.
You're
Now-
cheerleading again.
Now, if we're gonna watch the movie with the kids who are at cheerleading, can I watch it when they're not here? I mean, help me out here.
No, you can't.
No. Oh, so
You
I have that. So I have to write it down. I have to say, well, watch at. So we put down here 7:30. Now, make sure we get this. If I'm watching a movie that's 2 hours long, start at 7:30. What time is that over?
9:30.
And I go to
That's
bed.
That's past your bedtime.
Right, and I always go to bed like right before 10. So 9:30 is
It's
like
pushing it, yeah.
it's pushing. So, but again, I think a lot of people just don't do this step. I think that's what happens. I think what happens is we're smart people. We're getting busy, and I think people email themselves. And I just want to know what kind of stuff are people doing. 'Cause I don't know. I've been doing this forever. I don't know. This was taught to me at a young age, thankfully. See, what are people doing? What do you see? Are people emailing themselves? Are people like?
Well, they're trying to memorize. They're trying to, when someone says, "Hey, do this or do that," or they go, "Oh, I've got to do this." I forgot. I've got to call my life insurance agent and change this, or I've got to call my car. I got a new car. I got to call the car insurance people and let them know I bought a new car. And then what they do is then they drift.
They drift.
And then they don't call. And then pretty soon, 45 days later, they're in a car wreck, and they're like, "Oh man, I forgot to call my car insurance people to tell them I bought a new car, to put it on my covered list." The first 30 days it's covered automatically, but after that you got to call them. So there's some very important things that people aren't doing out there, and part of it is they don't have a to-do list. And I don't have a to-do list anymore. I use my calendar mostly as my to-do list because they're just big ticket items.
You just schedule it though.
And most of my stuff is driven on, problem solving throughout the day. If a business is having a problem, I get the call. An issue, I get the call.
But now you've got people that work for you that have a big to-do list.
Right, they do. And I put things on their to-do list. But I think that back when I was really building and really, really hustling, that to-do list was so important. And whenever I got to check things off of it, it was just, it was
euphoric.
Can I show you something real quick?
Wait a second. I want to tell you what it was like.
Yeah, oh.
Man,
Wow.
when
like a tomahawk.
I got time to get that Sharpie
tomahawk
out and
steak over there at the Cardinal.
knock off the top
Club.
most urgent thing on that list. Oh,
Folks,
it felt so good.
For those of you out there who don't know what I'm talking about when I say, "Oh, it's so
felt
good,"
so
it's like
good.
the Cardinal Club. There's a great restaurant called the Cardinal Club Tulsa.
Oh yeah.
.com. Great place. They have great
place.
great food.
Go have a tomahawk.
Or you keep this music. I
And
think
then
of a fantastic.
And then you can
place.
use the bone as a weapon later if you want. But so you've got to have that to-do list because that helps direct you. And what it did is it helped me not have just fill-in time. In other words, I have nothing to do. So what do I do? I don't do anything.
So
right?
let's think about this. Z, look at this email real quick. Here, look at
Okay.
this email. This email. I just want you to see who's that email from. Who's this email from? Andrew. Last name, please. Giuliani. That's Rudy Giuliani's son in the White House, emailing us, thanking us for letting the President of the United States know about the budesonide treatment.
Oh, by the way, you like my new T-shirt?
Look at this shirt. I see your shirt says, "I've got your back," and if you turn around, what is it?
No, it just says, look, he actually.
Oh, he took his back. That's impressive. Oh, now look, Z. How many people? I mean, we met Dr. Richard Bartlett, and he says, "Hey, I've treated over 1,000 patients with budesonide.
Over 1,200.
Over 1,200 patients with a budesonide and a Z-Pack, and no one's died.
Vitamin C,
over
zinc,
1,000
yeah.
COVID-19 patients he's treated. No deaths.
No deaths. And some of them, did you hear the one about the lady that was in her late 60s? 2 forms of cancer, been in bed 5 days, just about dead.
He's got a lot of stories like that.
I know. He
People-
shows up, puts a nebulizer on her. The next day, her fever breaks, and she's at work, I think, less than a week later.
Problem.
Awesome. Crazy.
There's a problem. You and I hear of a solution, but you know what? Instead of just saying, Z, you know what? We should probably do something, and then let it just drift. Can I show you what we made over the weekend?
Sure.
I'm going to show it to you. This right here is a list of all of the emails. Andrew, do not cut to the screen. This is all of the members of the White House. So John and I spent the whole weekend getting an email of every single member of the White House, and we emailed every single member of the White House. And you know what? Guess who's out of the hospital? President Trump.
Awesome.
And who's getting an email back from Giuliani? We are. Are we geniuses? No, we just took the time.
Yep.
And this was terrible. This was the worst possible task. You know how what you do is you got to figure out the naming convention of how how emails are given out throughout an organization.
Right.
So I figured out that it's their first name, middle initial, last name, @ and then there's a certain thing. I thought we just got to go get them all, and we did
Get them all.
And you know what? We got a lot of response, and that's how you do it. But I think people think, oh man, if you want to tell the United States president or the White House about treatments for COVID-19, it's more complicated. You have to be connected. You got to know people. Don't people say that in business? Josh, you hear that?
Yes.
Don't people say you got to be connected.
Yes.
You got to know people.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about who you know kind of deal.
All you know.
Something exciting the other day. I was driving the car, and I don't often listen to Rush, but I was listening to Rush Limbaugh at the time, and he had Dr. Oz on there. No, or was it Sean Hannity? I think it was Sean Hannity.
Okay.
Anyway, I think it was Sean Hannity. And he had Dr. Oz on there. And for the first time, he was actually talking like Dr. Bartlett. He was talking about the different steroids, all the different protocols, and it was extremely exciting. The new death rates with this new therapeutics that are in place now. And it was, wow. I was like, oh, my gosh. Finally, someone that's really looked at, revered, has his own show.
National name.
Putting
his neck out there.
And sit there saying, folks, it's not that bad. Let's get back. And then he started talking about getting back to school. He started talking about getting back to work. He started talking about the damages that can be done from that, and it was powerful. So anyway, that was some good news. We had to put that on your to-do list, Andrew, or we need to pound Dr. Oz to get him on the show.
Andrew, email us right now to founder@, okay? Sushi has an email right now to founder@.
We need to get him on the show.
But I'm just saying this is so important, though. You make a to-do list every day, and you have a calendar. Now, I just want to make sure the listeners get this because we've got about 90 seconds left of this show. Josh, I met you today.
Yes, sir.
At 8.
Yes, sir.
And meeting with you was not more important than meeting with our elephant in the room sales team, which I meet at 7. Both were important. So both were scheduled. And that which is not important doesn't get scheduled.
Correct.
And I see UZ all the time. People say, hey, we should get together. That's why I hesitated to commit where I would take you. Because I know myself, and I know, I'm serious, I'm in like a cheerleading hell right now where it's like it's like during the day I got total control of my schedule. At night, it's just like we might go here, we might go there.
Pom-poms everywhere.
I don't know. So all I'm saying is that, but if I don't schedule, it's not going to get done. And I think that's where the part where the ideas begin to drift,
right?
Where we start to lose momentum. It's so homework again, folks. Every day, wake up, make a to-do list. And then throughout the day, when you get a new idea, put it on the to-do list like we just did. We said we got to watch Hillary's America at 7:30.
It's beautiful.
Andrew, Mike.
And then you got to have your calendar, and you got to do one thing with your calendar. You got to look at it.
Oh,
yeah.
No. And so I carried it on the clipboard. Andrew, at 5:30, you said Mike wants to hop on a phone call real quick at 5:30.
That's true.
And so we put it on this, and we put it on the calendar.
There you go. That's how you do it.
But I think people think it's more complicated than that. I think they think there's an app. Mm-hmm. They want to remind. And I see people now that have reminders. This is one of my favorite things. They have reminders to remind them. This is great. It'll send them, like you'll be in a meeting with them, and it'll go. They'll look down, and then, did you get that? No, it's a reminder that I need to call somebody here in an hour. And then you'll be with them for an hour, and then you'll go, did you call that person? Oh, no. I didn't.
I forgot.
I turned my reminder off.
I forgot. I turned my reminder off.
Josh.
Just to free up some of our listeners out there, I forgot is not a good business plan. It's not a good business model. I am guilty myself of when we started to grow Living Water of just, I can retain this and I got this.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's like the waiter that comes and waits on the party of 6. He's like, he's got no pen, no paper. Like he just walks up. He's like, hey, guys, how you doing? So he's memorizing everybody's order and how they want their steaks cooked and whatever. Guys, it's not
a great trick.
It's a trick, but it's not the move to run a business.
It's a trick, not a move.
Just write it down. Have the to-do list, have the calendar, and then that way you get the things done as opposed to you stand in front of a client like Dr. Robert Zellner and you say, oh, I forgot.
Could you imagine what it would be like to be an optometrist who tried to memorize client files, patient files? So you go, Mr. Clark, you're Tom. You're Tom, right? No. Carl. No. Clay. Yeah. Okay. And I think we're 20.
I saw you like a year and a half ago. No.
You can't see, right? Okay. Yeah. So anyway, your bill is going to be around here somewhere. I see contractors who operate like that.
Oh, yeah.
They got a yellow pad with a Sharpie, and they are going, well, based upon the terrain of your land and the yard, I'm looking here, probably $407. I mean, you see that kind of
all the time.
all the time, and it's just like, what
is going on?
Folks, I'm telling you, got to get a to-do list. You got to get a calendar. And if you're anybody out there and you've never had a problem with these things, well, you're a gangster. You're the boss. You're awesome. That's great for you. But as for me and many other people who didn't know these secrets, I dedicate this show to you because a lot of people out there, we need to know these moves. This is the profound crap they're just not teaching out there.
It's the simple stuff.
Simple stuff.
And it makes you look so smart when you actually show up to the meetings on time,
You
when you
write
actually
stuff
go to the
down.
right place at the right time, when you actually get stuff done. I love that. At the end of the day, when you put your little head on your pillow and you go, I got a lot done today. That is a great feeling.
It feels good.
When you're in business. I mean, it really is. Versus going, laying down going, I didn't get anything done.
Hey, are you okay if we call our next guest? Z, are you okay
Let's
with
do
it?
it.
Let me
I'm
call her
fine.
up here.
Let's
This
do
is
it.
an incredible guest. Her name is Ashley. She's a great American. I'm calling her up right
Probably,
now.
we're not sure. Could be the best guest ever.
Well, it
We're
could
not
be
sure.
here. The name
Probably.
could be Ashley, but it's in the calendar. So therefore, we must trust the calendar because I put it in the calendar. And if I can't trust myself with putting things in my calendar, that's another show.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
Okay. We'll try again. On today's show, folks, we're talking about what it's like to not trust your own calendar.
Or not to look at it.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging
On today's show, we're talking about what it's like to be
to not answer your phone.
Not answer your phone.
Passive aggressive.
Call has been forwarded to an.
Well, it appears
Well,
as
she's
though
forwarded you pretty quickly.
Now let me make sure, folks, we get this idea. As an entrepreneur, this is a good teaching moment here. Andrew, how many times do I typically call a number
before reaching it?
Before I mean, if I need to reach somebody, if you need to reach somebody, it's an urgent thing,
right?
What's an acceptable number to call? How many times should you call your lead before giving up on it? I mean, if someone fills out the form at drzellner.com,
right,
and they say, I'd love to schedule an eye exam,
right,
and so they fill out the form. A member of your team calls. You know it. People do not answer the phone if they don't know the number.
Right.
What's an acceptable number of times to call a lead? I mean, before they either cry, buy, or die. I mean, what's your thought on that?
1 billion.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna try this number again. I don't know.
I thought 900 million. I thought $1 billion was a little excessive.
A little sexy. And we're at 3, so I think we're a little ways to go.
It's gonna be a long show.
But when they go directly like that, they're usually out of.
Your call has been forwarded to an.
It's either phone's off, they're out of service. I mean, it goes.
Or
that
they
quickly.
recognized I'm a libertarian. That's what
could.
happened to about a fourth of our guests right
Your
now.
call has been
They look-
forwarded
they
to
go,
an automated
wait a minute,
voice message.
you're a libertarian. You're not in favor of expanded government. That kind of happens sometimes.
Yeah.
You're not in favor of more taxes?
Your call has been forwarded to an
Can you send a
automated.
text?
Yeah.
Say hey.
Hey.
Yelled wolf.
Hey, yo, it's me, playa.
Hello.
New phone. Who dis?
Who it is? Who did this?
Who this is the one that's trying to get to you?
Okay, let me try again. I'm sending it. Calling right now. Here we go. Feeling the flow.
Call has been forwarded to
okay.
an.
Automatic.
Okay. So as we wrap up today's show, I want to make sure we get this idea. Big idea number one. Juan.
What?
You got to have a to-do list every day.
Yeah, you have to.
Idea number 2, you got to have a calendar.
Well, I mean, what else? If you don't, what are you going to do today?
Andrew, don't mention the guest's name. Don't mention the guy, okay?
Yeah.
We had a guy that desperately was beating down our door to be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You just talked to the guy.
Yeah.
Do not mention anything about the guy. He was like, I have this new product. I really want
I
the
gotta be in your
Thrive
show."
Nation to know about it. I listen to the show every day. And I said to him, I don't know how he got a hold of me. I said, here's the deal. I'll have you on the show. And I'm going to have Josh and Z and myself. We're going to ask you tough questions about the product. We're going to ask you, does it work? Can you prove it works? We're going to, it's like a lead generation software of some kind. And I'm going, if this works, I mean, Z, who wouldn't want more leads?
Right.
I'm going, so we're going to grill you on it. So he says, I want to be on the show. So we reached out to him 2 weeks ago for the appointed time. I call him, and let me just recap kind of how the call went. I call him, and he goes, who's this? Who's this? It's Clay Clark, Thrive Time Show. He goes, oh. Like he kind of, I think when people recognize they're supposed to be somewhere and they're not there, they have kind of different moves they do.
Yeah, they have the moves.
His move was to act like confused and then hang
calendar.
up. And then hang up. It's like next day I get a call. Answer it. Hey, what's going on? He says, oh, my bad, man. Hey, let's reschedule. I guess we had it down different time zones, different. I mean,
Right.
who
That
doesn't
happens.
make mistakes?
Right.
Sure.
So, Andrew, you just called the guy again.
Yep.
Whoever he is. How did that go?
Kind of like the first call. He was like, dude, we have this scheduled? And I was like, yeah. He's like, who are you? And I was like,
what is this?
We're with the Thrive Time show. And he's like, the what show?
How often does this happen, though? Seriously, this is a big problem. Not with your employees, not with your optometrists, not with your technicians, not with my hairstylist, but with other people. See, how often do you have a key meeting with somebody and you're thinking, I hope they show up? Because there's certain people you bet on them not showing up.
Right.
You almost hesitate to ever introduce them to anybody. No, I'm serious.
Well, the problem is now is I've gone from a seller to a buyer, and so unfortunately, everybody always shows up because I want to sell me something. I mean, back when you're selling and you make an appointment with the buyer, and you're there, you're excited, you're locked and loaded, you're ready to go. And then they don't show up, and they get their secretary gives you some weird excuse like, he forgot he had a pedicure today. I'm sorry, but maybe you need to reschedule.
Now, I want to get into, can I go deeper into these two ideas?
Please do.
You need to have one to-do list.
Yes.
Just one. Oh.
Now,
yes.
I see people
Preach
who have an app. They have a calendar, another calendar. Let me just tell you about, again, my wife and I. Can I tell you about that relationship? Can I tell you? Because this is someone needs to get this idea.
It still boggles my mind that you were able to gather up a woman as wonderful as your wife.
She's great.
How again did you do that? What move did you do on that?
Well, the
hypnotism. I forget.
Seriously, do you want to know the move?
I want to know the move.
Okay. Jake Aldridge, if you're listening out there, Jake Aldridge, he was the guy who cut my hair at college at ORU. Josh, did you go to college somewhere? Did you go to the military? What did you do?
Went to the military. Yeah, no college.
Well, in college, you have these people that are trying to make extra income. And Jake was a full scholarship soccer player.
Cool.
And Jake says, hey, if you want me to cut your hair,
Did he have calves like Dr. Zoner?
He did.
He did.
He says, you want me to cut your hair, I'll cut your hair. And I said, what kind of haircuts do you do? He says, I knock it out. So he does what he calls the duck butt. So he literally cuts my hair. I had hair like Andrew's. And he goes, and he won't let you look at it in the mirror. He's, and then I emerge, and all I have is the front of my hair, this little duck butt, and everything else is gone.
What?
And he's like, no, not kidding. He goes, I call this the duck butt. And I had enough confidence to pull it off.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm wearing the duck butt. Anyway, so we're talking. He's like a senior. I think he was a senior or a junior, and I was a freshman. And he says, we got get your roommate a date coming up soon. Get your roommate a date where you have to get your roommate a date. And
seems fair.
Your roommate, is he going to get you a date? Well, my roommate was violating rules. He was still dating a girl from high school, 1 year younger than him.
Oh yeah, he can't. That's not.
So he's still dating from high school. So I have to get a date. So I tell Jake, I said, Jake, here's the deal. I want to go out with that cheerleader, Vanessa, right there. The cheerleader. He goes, oh, it's gonna be tough.
That's gonna be tough. That's a tough one.
But what you need is what I call a referral. And I'm going, referral?
Referral?
Because again, I understand. I'm 17, 18 years old. These are all new moves.
Right.
This guy's like a wizard.
You're rocking. Did he say anything about your duck butt?
I mean, he goes, here's the deal. You need a referral. And I go, what do you mean? He says, listen, you're driving a hand-painted 1989 Ford Escort, my man.
That's it.
You're going to need a quality referral. Now, a solid referral. See, have I ever showed you my hand-painted 1989 Ford Escort?
It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. You got to.
Okay, let me cue it up here. I'll put it up on the big screen here. Andrew, put it up on the big screen, please. There you go. This is the hand-painted right there. Look at that, baby. Oh, look at that. Just unbelievable. Hand-painted. So he's like, here's the deal. You're going to need a referral. And a referral, now here's how the referral works, Clay. Each week, I'll sit by this person. I'll start saying good things about you that maybe are true in advance. Most of them are true now. But I'm going to say things about you that are like, what a great guy. You're a quality guy. I'm just going to kind of weave you into conversations. So there will be at least a level of interest.
Yeah.
So she'll say things like, how are you? And I'll go, oh, man, I'm doing great. My buddy Clay, man, this guy, he's going to be
rocking
he's
the
a superstar.
butt.
Because this is a junior talking, college starting soccer player. He's like kind of a superstar. And he's telling a freshman girl, he's like, this guy, he's going to be something. I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of guys come to this college, amount to nothing. This guy's a doer. So
get her done.
He's going to get her done. So he's kind of teeing up the referral. So anyway, he makes it happen. He seals the deal. He books the
wow.
the date. That's how the date started.
That's how. And then from there you took it.
I did.
You ran with it.
I ran with it. But I want to make sure the listeners get this idea though. Somebody out there is having multiple to-do lists. Now I've been married a long time, and I'll just tell you this: I have no idea what's going on in my wife's schedule right now. She could be here. She could be there. She could be anywhere. I don't know. But you know what I do know is I know that I'm here.
Yes.
And when I wrap up today's schedule, I know that I'm going to my phone will be off, and she will emerge at an agreed upon time, 6:30. I'll see her 6:37, and there it is. Boom. That's what we've agreed on as a couple. I'm not saying everybody else out there has to agree to this, but I'm not saying you have to. I'm just giving you what I do.
Sure.
She doesn't call me during the day and say, "Where are you?" I don't call her and say, "Where are you?" Now, for me, I need that. I can't do the whole phone leash thing. I can't do the whole every 7 seconds, "Where are you?" I can't handle it.
No, I can't.
For anybody. So this is where I will be. This is where you'll be.
Phone leash. I like that.
And I see her during the day. She shows up in the office, does accounting, does a great job. But I don't check on her like, "Where are you? Where are we?" But some people need that. All I'm saying is whatever you and your spouse have to agree, or girlfriend or team, you have to agree on one calendar. Somebody has to agree on this.
Yes.
Because if I wanted to, I could pull up her calendar right now in her email and go look at it, and I'll see she's going to pick up the kids here, she's taking the kids there, she's going to this event, she's going to that event, she's working out, she's going to the trainer, she's going to the store. That's great. But see, if you don't have one calendar, man, what happens when you got like one calendar at home on the refrigerator, one in your phone? What happens?
Well, what happens is you double book.
Double book.
I was famous until I that was the problem, is that I had a calendar, and then I hired this thing called a personal assistant. I had never had one before, and I thought this is gonna make my life so much easier.
Oh, it's gonna change the world.
So she had a calendar, and of course, people they didn't know to call her to book something with me. Some of my close friends, like my financial advisor, guys like that, they'd call up and say, "Hey, I'm in town. What about Thursday?" It's Meatloaf Day, of course. Thursday, boom, we're on. And I get up Thursday and I look at my calendar, start the day, and I'm looking at her maybe Wednesday night. I'm looking at the next day and I go, "Oh crap, I'm double booked for lunch." Because you
got weird lunch meetings. You got a meeting with your financial advisor and your
podiatrist.
Yeah, the same meeting. So oftentimes what I would do is I just double them up, and I just say, "Hey, listen,
can you look at my foot while you
like
looks at my financial statements?
Do you like meatloaf? Okay, come on board." Oh, so I was the king of the. Then we finally got it figured out where we only had one calendar. Because
but this is big news. I mean, I'm telling you, if you're able to sell something at all, eventually this becomes a real problem.
It does.
Josh, how have you worked through this? Are we saying we're perfect? No, but I mean, maybe share with us why is it important to have a calendar that you and your team agree on?
Well, I mean, for all of our listeners out there, if you're a contractor, here's a super move. You ready? Show up.
Oh, geez, write that down.
I should sell that. Like I really, I probably. What should we charge people that? $199.
I hit the wrong answer button there because someone just got overwhelmed with feelings of guilt.
Yes,
because they're like, I don't ever show up. What is going on with my sound effects? I have too many sound effects. See, my sound effects are ruining my life over here.
But the only way
they're controlling me.
The only way you're going to show up though is if you actually put it down on a calendar that, hey, I'm supposed to meet with so and so at 12:30 on Tuesday, and it's the super move of all super moves for contractors, because I tell you what, it is so funny how many jobs we've gotten to, and they're like, "You're the only guy who showed up." And I'm like, "Oh, well, no, some other people were late or they had to reschedule." Or,
that's the key.
No, you're the only guy who showed up. I'm like, "Well, great.
You're my guy.
So we get the job." But, from there, I made a lot of mistakes. I'm not going to say I made a lot of mistakes as we grew. And, I'm so thankful for y'all's team and what you've done with our company. And I didn't have something in place to begin making sure I was communicating properly. Now, we have awesome people in our office now, Gabby and Sarah, who take care to make sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be, when I'm supposed to be. And just like you, my wife makes sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be, when I'm supposed to be. But if I didn't have that calendar, if I didn't have that to-do list, I would be at the golf course. Like, let's just be honest. Like, I would be at the golf course all day, every day going, well, didn't have nothing to do, so I'll just play golf.
Why I'm so passionate about this subject is Andrew, you're a young guy. You're 22 years old. How often have you run into a situation, not with people that we know, but just other people not in our circle, who are well-intentioned, good-meaning people, and they just for whatever reason can't figure out how to be on time?
Yeah, I mean, it's most people. I mean,
it's tough.
Go to an event, go to church, go to anywhere, and you see people running in late.
It's tough, and it's just, I feel bad, but I mean, we had this nice event we just did at the Riverwalk.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
It had a great attendance. A lot of people showed up for this call to prayer and worship, and Sean Foyt did a great job, and Pastor Brian Gibson was there, and we were right there, right on the river there at night. The weather could not have been better.
I know. It was almost
Paul Doherty
cold.
was there. It was great. But today I felt bad. I talked to a lady and she goes, "I'm so excited to be there." And I'm going, and I know because I put my cell phone on there. Text if you have questions. She's fired up. Now, Mike, so you understand that event, was last week. She said, I thought it was tonight.
Oh.
Now, in her defense, we did have it on the 8th. We had to change venues. But at no point was it on this Tuesday the 6th. And I'm just wondering, maybe she's never had this talk. So with love, I'm trying to give this encouragement to somebody. In this techno world of all the technology, I feel like people don't have a to-do list. And they don't have a calendar, and I think it's bad. I mean, I remember when I used to travel around doing these speaking events. See, I'd always bring a video guy with me to get video clips.
Sure.
And man, these video guys, I felt bad because you never want to lie to somebody, but some people you have to give them a time that is correct in their world because you recognize how perverse and distorted their relationship is with time.
A little truth in advance. A little truth.
Well,
in
you
advance.
tell a guy. I mean, Vanessa and I, we would laugh, but she goes, "Hey, what time did you tell that?" My wife, she'd say, "What time did you tell the guy to get at the airport?" Because we have to. I was like the red eye flight. You get at the airport at 6 a.m. Your flight takes off at let's say 8 or takes off at 7. Your first flight out, it's never late. So if we're supposed to be at the airport at 5 to catch the 7 o'clock flight or 6:30, I would tell the guy, "Meet me at 4 a.m. Meet me there at 4." Because I know that 4 in their mind is like 6.
Yeah.
There's just certain people that and it's unfortunate when you see doctors, attorneys, lawyers, dentists, hardworking contractors see that they don't have any credibility because they're always missing things. I mean, how many times can somebody miss a core thing before it becomes like the brand that they've developed in your mind? I mean, how many times, because you're a kind, loving guy. I mean, how many times can a vendor drop the ball, miss the target before you go? That's just what they are.
He's a ball dropper. Probably about the third time, I would say.
Because you've become very graceful over time.
Well, yeah, you know things happen, but that's why you have to schedule for things happening. And when things aren't happening and you're still late, you've got to really look at yourself in the mirror and go, why? Maybe I need to set all my clocks ahead 30 minutes. Maybe I need to do something. If I'm supposed to be there at noon, shoot for 11:45, because in that way, when you have that road construction you forgot about or didn't know about, it gives you that extra 10-15 minutes to get where you need.
Do you get people fighting with you, Andrew, about this when you teach people about a to-do list and a calendar? Is there pushback? Could there possibly be pushback on this idea?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, it's more passive. Like maybe there's an app for it. There's another way. It's mostly that there's another way, or it's too simple, or it's too easy. It probably doesn't work. But whenever they do implement it, it works, and it's great.
I think of great clients like Dr. Morrow. What a great guy. He's a pediatric dentist. See, if I set an appointment for my kids to be there at noon, they get greeted at noon.
Yes.
Now, here's the deal. There's patients that are running late. You know how it is because you're an optometrist.
Oh, yeah.
Some run late. Some get there early, so you're always trying to juggle that schedule.
Right.
But he's never saying, oh, my gosh, I did not expect your arrival.
On time.
This is what's crazy. This was a cosmetic surgeon I worked with years ago in Dallas. If you're listening, sir, don't get mad. I'm not giving more details. I'm just teeing up geographically. You were in Dallas. That's all the details I'm giving. This guy, now, see, tell me this. If you were going to have, and I know you're not going to, but if you were going to have some sort of facial reconstruction surgery.
I'm thinking about it.
And you schedule a meeting with a doctor for the initial exam.
A real doctor?
And this is real stuff that happened twice. Crazy. And you schedule a real face-to-face meeting with a cosmetic surgeon about having a procedure done. If he, not only does he not show up, but he is oblivious to the fact that he missed the meeting, how many times can he do that before you lose all trust?
I don't know, two, maybe three, because if a cosmetic surgeon, if it's someone I want to have him go in and, put a big dimple in my chin or something.
Now, can I gross you out? Can I gross you out? I want to gross you out for a second. This is true. Can I gross you out?
Maybe.
Z, do you know what a facelift is all about?
Travolta.
Can you explain how a facelift works?
Yeah. You make incisions on usually behind the ears nowadays, maybe the top of the head, and you actually spread the facial epidermis and you trim it.
That's good. We're good.
And then you sew it down. We actually call it staple it down.
Okay.
And
we're good.
And that's what
serious?
that's what it's about. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know how the whole thing works, but I thought I was in Dallas. I thought I'm just going to check on my man and say, "What's up, dude?" Because he'd been a client for about 3 or 4 months. His sales were up. He had some you see the Google reviews come in where someone writes, I traveled all the way from yada yada, and the guy didn't even show up. I mean, people just hate when you disrespect their time.
It's the worst.
So I go in there, and I go into the restroom area, and I walk by what appears to be a bucket of blood.
What?
True story. So I use the restroom. I walk back, and I'm like, whoa. So I talked to the front desk lady. I said, hey, there appears to be a bucket of blood. And she goes, oh, we had a procedure yesterday, and I think that the yada yada forgot to clean up the. So that's just
the bucket.
No, this is by a bathroom that other people walk by. I am horrified. I'm like nauseous. I'm trying to I'm trying to process because
it's been sitting there for a day.
Yeah, I mean it smelled like and I'm like, what? Anyway, so and I talked to the guy. I'm like, hey, you got a bucket of blood back there? And he goes, yeah, a lot of times it's like we got so many patients going on. I guess I forgot. I'm going,
you cannot forget about a bucket of blood in your hallway.
How many people have walked by the restroom, walked by the bucket of blood? It's like the main restroom.
Oh my goodness.
But that's how his restroom was always crazy. His front desk was always crazy. People didn't get billed. I mean, it was the craziest thing
ever. We're going to let that dude
I got to get out of it.
But I'll tell you one thing, though.
Yeah.
Your facelift looks fabulous. I mean, I tell you what, he did a great job on you. Just as a sidebar, I mean, I don't want to talk about HIPAA restrictions. I can't really talk about these things, but I mean, you look fabulous.
Before the procedure, a lot of people don't know about my Hispanic origins. But before the procedure, it was like it was like a Gerardo from Rico Suave. People would see me and they would say, "Look at this guy."
Wow. Are you from Miami?
Yeah, and then he did some things and kind of some Michael Jackson-esque things.
Just bleached you right up because
we're stuck with this.
You're pasty white.
I thought I was going in for a facelift for the gift of a tighter face.
Yeah.
And I ended up being stuck with
it. You look fabulous. I mean, you really do.
I used to actually sound like Gerardo too, but I'm not sure to change my accent.
I'm not sure if your blood was left in a bucket in the hallway. I don't know. I don't know.
Today on the Thrive Time Show, we talk about Esteban.
Yes.
That's how the show used to be before my procedure.
Well, I remember it well.
Have you deleted all those recordings? I've never heard them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes. Yes, I tell you what. His name was Jose.
Okay, so recap. Andrew, you need a what and a what? You need a Juan and a Juan. You need a Juan what? Juan.
Why?
You got to have a to-do list and a calendar.
If I go up to a business owner and I say, listen, what is the number one thing you need to get done today? And they look at me with that deer in a headlight like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you talking about?
I can't understand it.
I got a bucket of blood over here for you, though.
I found a bucket of blood in my office.
Sorry about the bathroom.
And if they can't answer that question, then you just kind of go, I give them that's not good. That's not good.
So you want to hear the intro for our show back in the day before my procedure? Welcome to the Thrive Time Show. On today's edition of the Thrive Time Show, we talk about my upcoming facelift by the doctor in Dallas.
In the bucket of blood.
Face. Where they take my bucket of blood. Listen to this. Do you like the Spanish guitar? Does this do something for you?
Oh, I love it.
Do you really?
I feel like it's the intro to what's a song about the place down in New Orleans? The
Rising Sun.
The Rising Sun. It sounds kind of Rising Sun-ish to me.
It is. It's like a cover of that. It's too slow though. I want it faster. It's too slow.
Well, you've got technology to speed it up.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Thrive Nation. On today's show, hopefully you got two big ideas out of this. One, you have to have a to-do list.
You've got
Two, you got to have a calendar.
And only one. And look at it.
Bonus fry idea. Bonus fry? There's a bonus fry idea at the bottom of the bag.
Okay.
Bonus fry. Wake up every day, an hour before you see people, and make a to-do list and a calendar.
There you go.
Don't be doing it in front of people. Don't be fumbling throughout the day.
And understand this, is that calendar is the most precious commodity you have.
It is.
You can make a lot of money.
Yep.
But you can't make any more hours in the day.
Come on now.
So you have to make sure that if it's worthy, it goes on the calendar. If not, you say this wonderful, wonderful word. It's only two letters.
Two letters.
It's easy.
Beautiful.
My little 18-month-old granddaughter can say it very well at this point in
Shaka
life.
Baba?
No, it's not Shaka Baba.
Shunda?
It's not Shunda either.
Is it tomahawk?
I said two letters, and you guys aren't even listening to me. It is the famous word of no.
Ooh, how do you say it in Spanish?
El no.
Can we, hey, real quick, I
know.
want to work on the pronunciation of the word no. Let me cue it up real quick here, Zane. You can help us.
Okay. No.
Some people haven't ever said that word.
Yeah.
Some people haven't said that word.
They figure if someone asks them something, it goes on the calendar. Well, sure.
Hey, by the way, folks, if Kamala Harris or Joe Biden asks to eat at your restaurant, you want to say no.
No.
Just throwing that out there. Just say no.
Just say no.
Okay, we're going to end the show at the boom. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom!